Welcome back to the Juice.
Bang.
I got left alone today, so I'm recording by myself. I don't know what to talk about. I feel like that's Josh is usually the guy who knows what to talk about. I'm just the tech guy.
Tell me who you know doing things like the Lemon Boys do it on the way to the top. This just elevator music, matter of fact, this is slap. I ain't even playing hockey. I'ma put it in reverse like Fanaki, cocky. Never we killing these brothers softly, awfully clever. You know you could never stop me, Y'all be driving stick shift, this is auto. You know I'll turn it up, D-Donato. I wanna beat up the beat, you gotta see us to see. Bet the whole house on it, you know that Keenan is key. Squad so deep, take a map just to find them all. And you know I'm about to eat like I'm Ryan Paul. Too tough, no rest, crown, I wear it, Big cut, big flex, Mike Garrett. Run the game round here, this is natural. And you know I got the touch like a Matt Spo. Spike lemonade, on the way to the top, about to elevate. Spike lemonade, and the boys don't play, better get it straight. Spike lemonade, on the way to the top, watch me elevate. Spike lemonade, don't hate, just wait. Spike lemonade.
You're listening to Spiked Lemonade, the only Roundnet podcast that squeezes out all the juice in the Roundnet community right now. I'm your host, Matt Spo, and I'm alone today. I got left alone by Josh and Zach. Zach moved away. Josh couldn't make it today, so I decided to just do it myself. And I know that probably bums a lot of you out because you wouldn't want to listen to this cracky voice for, I don't know how long this is going to be, probably quicker. But yeah, I'm sorry, but I figured that bad content is better than no content. So I'm here just discussing some things that are going on in the Roundnet world, squeezing out some juice. The biggest thing is I'm live on Instagram, on my own Instagram right now, bringing in any questions, any comments or concerns from anybody who has them. So if you just join the live, ask any questions you want while we are doing the podcast. So maybe some Christmas classic discussion or whatever. It's a laid back pod today. And I don't know. I'm not a big talker, so I don't know how this is going to go. But we're going to find out. And we'll find out the hard way. This is getting posted no matter what. So if you joined the live on Instagram, please ask some questions. I posted on Discord. Let's see what we got. Brendan says, how does it feel to be playing with Gabe next year? It's great, dude. Playing with Gabe next season is going to be fantastic. I just can't believe he chose me out of all the fantastic players out there. But I don't know. I feel like I really need to step it up, though, and put Gabe on my back because we're not going to make pro unless I hard carry. And we all know that's a fact. Chaz Spiker guesses on the World Championship winners for next year. USA. Men's USA. Women's USA. I think it's going to be closer on the women's side. But the men's side, I don't think it's going to be a question. Where the U.S. is just getting more better people. And we're growing as a community, getting a lot better. And I can only see the women's side being contested by like Germany if they keep growing their community. Because the women in Europe are just, the amount of them is just amazing right now. But it's going to be USA without a problem. Keenan is key. Who's the best Roundnet real estate agent? Keenan, I think you're the only Roundnet real estate agent. So I'm going to have to go with you. But if there's any other one, I am definitely going to choose them over you. I'm sorry. Zach Getz, are you looking for a new teammate? I just started playing a couple days ago. Went to the Camden meet on the Battleship. I think I have what it takes. Let's give it a shot. Let's run a tournament, Zach. I think we should. Sanders with a lemonade tier list. I don't even know what a tier list, like what a lemonade tier list. Let's see. I think Wawa lemonade is probably the best lemonade there is. Other than that, I don't drink a lot of different lemonade. And don't glaze me. I don't think I'm doing that great. I'm struggling out here. Mike Lynn, I do think Mike Lynn said you don't think Canada men's can contest USA. I think Canada's top players can beat some of USA's top players, but I don't think they have the depth that USA has just yet. But I think it's close. I do think it's close. Yeah, Chaz, you say Vinny, Blake, and Etienne. And yeah, Vinny, Blake, Etienne. That's 3 you just named. What about Gabe, Ryan Marino, Thomas Hamilton, Will Pacone, Max Modell, Grant Clapwick, Matt Cole? That's 10. That any one of those matchups can be any of the matchups of Vinny, Blake, and Etienne. Just saying. Mike G says hot take, Twins should split up next season for the good of women's round net. That is a hot take. I don't know. I think women's are just getting better and better. And I could see them losing more next season, just like they lost 1 this season. There's really no for sure say that Twins are just going to dominate. The gap between Twins and everybody else is just getting closer and closer, right? So I could see them losing to more teams. We just need those women to get better. Favorite server to watch from Chaz Spiker. Favorite server to watch. That's tough. So many servers are so fun to watch. I'm trying to think watching wise. Gabe gets electric. Gabe gets super electric. Like he'll scream just like he did in the championship with that comeback. Those screams are nuts. Who else is there? Vinny's also super fun to watch just because the amount of ankles he breaks on the receive line. So I can't be mad about that. Zach Vance make it to the top again. I think Zach can definitely make it to the top again. He's been on the grind recently. Playing pickup with him as of compared to like last year to now. I played with him in pickup maybe like once before this year. And this year he's been grinding and he's been killing it. The amount of improvement he's made from sitting for a while to playing a little bit to now grinding his ass off right now, he is crushing it. I can totally see Zach, if he keeps this grind up, making it, doing a really good run. Just because he's also been in the game for so long. I feel like when you're in the game for that long, a lot of things come naturally or come back naturally, and you get a lot more consistent than a lot of these newer guys are, which is the only reason why a lot of these older guys are still competing well in the Premier Division, in my opinion. Laura and Katie, each with a twin, would be peak. Would it? I feel like you could take any top player and put them with a twin, and then they would all be great games. Christian Bennett serving is fun to watch. That's what Mike G just said. Yeah, that is also true. He gets just as electric as Gabe does. I just think Gabe has a little bit more. He's got better serves than Christian does, and that's not a real. What's it called? It's not a secret. Partner for Pack. Kieran, I think, and it's just me speculating based off of them playing USA together, but Pack and Kieran did play USA. I could see them running the season together, especially after that one second place finish in Portland last year. And I think they could be a really deadly team. But at the same time, they have a pretty low floor in comparison to some of the other pro teams that are going to play this year. So they just have to be, if they're on, they're on. But as we saw at USA, when they're off, they're off. So that would be a fun team to watch. And I think for Pack and Kieran, that's probably the best option. Faz Pat says, what do you think of Rogue's new profile update? And who do you think would best suit Marino as a partner? So what he's referring to is on Instagram, Rogue Roundnet changed their profile picture to Marino and ? So, is this the end of Rogue? Maybe. Is Marino looking for a new partner? Maybe. Is this all just a big bit? Maybe. We have no idea. But what do I think of the new profile update? I think it's good for the views. I think it's great to get people talking about it. I think he loves having people concerned about, what's happening? Like, what's going on? I think it's going to be super electric when he does announce as a partner. If he does choose to stick with Thomas or if he goes to a different direction, no matter what, it's going to be awesome. But who do I think would best suit Marino as a partner? That's tough. That's a tough question. He's a very serve-heavy guy, so I would probably try and say someone who can set the ball and give him the perfect set every single time to give him the perfect hit he needs to hit. So someone like Clark, who is just super well on the serve-receive line. He'll hold whenever you need him to, and he can set very well. Just someone who's very good at being that support role for Marino. That's what I think. Brendan, you can come over whenever. All right? Say the word and you're here. Chaz Spiker said, Kieran's so good. His finishes are elite, but he needs someone more than Shatar. I think that's a hot take. Hear me out. I think Kieran is great. I think Justin Shatar is great. I don't think Kieran is heads and shoulders or miles above Justin in any way, shape, or form. I think there's arguments to be made that Justin is just as good, if not better, than Kieran is. Just because he doesn't have the results with anybody else because he didn't play with many other people doesn't mean shit. He had that one tournament with Ryan Gross at USA, which didn't go that well. But again, it was also their first tournament, so there's no chemistry there. And I believe that I think Justin is a fantastic player. I think Kieran is very show-offy, not in a bad way, in a way of he makes everything look good. So he is a very good-looking player. Does that make sense? Where it's not like he does everything well, and it just looks fun to watch. I think that's where Kieran comes in with that. I will say, though, with the Christmas Classic coming up, I do want to talk about that a little bit. I'll get the Flango up on my laptop. But I'm playing the Christmas Classic with Gabriel Fanaki, and I can't wait. I think it's going to be a blast. I think that no matter how we do, first rounded or make it into the finals, I'm not going to be upset. It's going to be a super fun day no matter what, and I really can't complain if I'm playing with Gabe. Guys, if you just joined the live, please just ask some questions. You can join if you want. I'm open to conversations. Request to join. We can do whatever you guys think could be best. Chaz Spiker with favorite underdog premier team. Borderline, Glizzy. I think those are both great premier teams. I think those wouldn't be an underdog premier team because they've had some pretty good results this past year, along with making power pools multiple times. I don't think those are necessarily underdog premier teams. I would say an underdog premier team would be someone like a Ariel Wish and his partner, Charlie, they get good results and they get some sneaky wins. And they're definitely underdog premier team coming in, just getting premier this year and playing well and taking games off of a bunch of people. Chaz, it's okay. Spam as many questions as you need. Questions are better than nothing. So, Christmas Classic. Let's look at the field. A lot of great teams out here. So, me and Gabe, let's talk about like the pros that are going. Gabe Fanaki's going. He's playing with me. We have Ryan Gross playing with AJ Martin. We have Owen Littman playing with Brendan Ferreira. Clapp playing with Andrew Sullivan. Kieran Rose and Max Modell. What else? Cade Larson, Will Piccone. Justin Shatar, Caleb Shorter. That is Max Prince and Etienne Cody. And that is all I see. But that's not an easy field by any means. This is similar field-wise, I'd say, to Nationals. I think that's debatable, but it's also possible for sure. I think that it really could go anybody's way, though. Christmas Classic is a tournament where a lot of people mash up. They just have a bunch of fun with it. And I think that's what it should be. But so I do think that they're going to do, I hope me and Gabe do super well. My goal is 100% to win the thing. And I think that's so doable. If I'm playing with Gabe, we can win whatever we want. We just got to get Gabe on a good day, which I've been buttering him up recently. So if you're playing, you should be scared. I think our biggest competition is probably going to be Will Piccone and Cade Larson, or Clapp and Sully, I think, personally. Just from serve receiving, Clapp and Sully. And then Cade and Will be so solid everywhere else around the net. So that's going to be a tough win if we end up doing that. But yeah, I think it's gonna be. I just think it's gonna be a blast. I'm really looking forward to it. There's not much else to really dive into, I guess. Just to preview going into it. Not a lot of women's teams signed up. We have 6 women's teams. Megan Bound and Katie Pearson are playing. Tiff Ding with Kathleen. And then we have Loopy Juice going. And then we also have Lawrence, Katie's partner, and Diane. I don't know who that is, though. But that can almost go anybody's way, too. Do you think Ryder will find a teammate? I don't think Ryder's going to find a teammate because I don't think Ryder's looking for a teammate. I think Ryder is going to be doing just a lot of his YouTube golf stuff with GM Golf. I don't see him finding a teammate. Like I said, not because he doesn't want to, or not because he can't. It's because he isn't looking. Like, I think his goal is just to come out every once in a while to win a tournament and then go home, and then just to keep his premier status, and then go home. I don't think he's gonna. I think his round at career is almost done. He's just doing it for fun at this point. But again, I'm just speculating. I don't know anything, and I don't know any of his plans for any of that. Let's get a drink real quick. There's a lot of talking when it's one person. Got some root beer. I'm a big fan of root beer. This is from a bourbon distillery in Kentucky, and it's so good. It's just super good. It's called Freddy's. I'm a big fan. If AT doesn't do well this year, do you think they'll split? I think there's a chance AT splits before this year. I think Buddy's getting to the point where he might not play too much anymore. I knew he had some minor injuries going on towards the end of the season, and he really was not too sure about playing next season, but I believe that was true. I believe. And then I knew Clark wasn't set on playing with Buddy. But if they do play this season, I don't think they're going to do too well, personally. But I don't know. I really don't know. Clark and Ryan. Clark and Ryan's a team. Clark and Ryan would be a sick team. Marino, right? That's who I think you're talking about. Clark and Marino would be a fantastic team. I think Clark would be the perfect guy for Marino, like I said earlier, with the setting and the consistency. I don't think there's any other. I think that could go super well, but then again, it could also flop. Sometimes you can think those teams will do super, super well together, and they end up not doing well. Like we could look at, I'm going to say Gabe and Fred. But even though they had a fantastic season, they podiumed almost every tournament they went to. They podiumed every tournament, almost every tournament they went to, they podiumed. But they couldn't get a win. And this was, going to the season, the number 1 and number 2 player, I would say. I think a lot of others would say. After last season, the number 1 and number 2 player teamed up and played this year and couldn't win a tournament. But don't get me wrong, they still played fantastic. But I think they could have done a lot better, and I think they were expected to do a lot better based on them being number 1 and number 2. And sorry if I sound raspy. I'm getting over this congestion cold thing, and the Dayquil hasn't kicked in just yet. Best fashion accessory in RoundNet. Fashion accessory? Or just accessory? If it's a fashion accessory, then I would say something like the sunglasses. I like the sunglass look. I just think it's not practical when you can wear a hat. I think the sunglasses mess with your depth perception a little bit. I've experienced that firsthand. You either need to play with them on all the time or never play with them because you're constantly going on and off. I feel that my sets and where my contact is on the ball is always a little off. But if you're going off of practicability accessory, then I would 100% say knee pads. Knee pads are fantastic. Even though I was recently thinking about ditching the knee pads. I don't think I'm going to wear them for the Christmas Classic. I just picked up knee pads at the start of this year, and I was using them all year on turf especially, and I liked them. But I don't know if it was a placebo or not because I've been playing a lot of pickup recently without them, and I feel like I've been playing just as good, if not maybe a little better. I'm back in the leggings I used to wear, like the Under Armour Adidas like compression leggings, and I'm a big fan of how those were feeling. I just feel like my muscles and joints are warmer and stay active longer, especially when you're starting and stopping in RoundNet like you do all the time. It's just a sprint and then it's a stand and it's a sprint and then just a stand, if that makes any sense. A KC repeat. I think anything can happen, especially with how they did last year, especially in the championship. I wouldn't put it past them to repeat. I'm not going to say no, but I'm going to say it's unlikely. I think other teams are going to get better. But I think KC is just going to play their game like they usually do and then not do too high in the championship. But I don't know. It's weird because obviously we saw KC can pop off just like any other team can pop off. I think it was just their day. And when it's their day, it just happened to be the best day to be their day. Yes, it is just Spo. The other guys left me. I don't know what to do. Mike Garrett also says that they aren't repeating. They caught fire on championship Sunday, but that's not their consistent play. And I would agree. Their consistent play is usually right around a quarterfinals, maybe semifinals team. If they were a constant finals team, then yeah, I could totally see them winning again. But it was just that one tournament that they popped off on. And if you look back at the play in the video, actually, it's interesting because you see the net they play on when they beat In-System, Rogue, Judgment Day, and I believe Critical Hit, was all the same wonky Pringle net. And that was the net that Clapp was serving insane on. So I could totally see it being just not just the net, obviously, because Clap is an insane server. But, man, this is hard by yourself. I give a lot of props to people who podcast by themselves. This is so much talking, and my throat is just crazy. But anyway, I was talking about the championship on Sunday. Yeah, so they played on the same net where Clap was serving insane on. Do you think if it was a different net that KC played on against In-System, Rogue, Judgment Day, and Critical Hit, that it would have gone differently? I think that's a question to be asked, and I would love to talk to somebody about that. Best Ambi server is Vinny. That's without a doubt. And yeah, I do think KC could level up and improve their consistency and then be in the running for a top team of the season, of course. I think that's without a doubt something that can happen. I mean, I think they're naturally going to just level up and be more consistent next season as long as they're still playing. That's the biggest thing. I know Mike says he doesn't think the net would have mattered because it's not like their opponents were hitting serves like Clap. But also you got to think that each server hits the ball differently. And Clap with being taller, he's definitely hitting the ball from a higher angle than other servers. And his spin is going to be different than other servers, like a little different. Every server is going to have a little bit of different spin in their own way of serving. So maybe his serves were made for that net. Maybe this is a crazy hot take that makes no sense. But I'm going to fight it anyway, because why not? I do think, though, yeah, Clap played insane. KC's going to be insane next year. I hope they're a top team next year. I think that'd be a really fun team to watch throughout the entire season. Thoughts on Spikeball going bankrupt and not paying out winnings? Rumored. That's tough. That's a tough look for Spikeball. Like, I don't even know how it gets to that point. Like, you got to think you allotted money to pay out the winners of your championship. Like, it's just crazy that they haven't paid out any of their winners yet. This is 2 months now, or almost 2 months since the championship and since they won, or since these winners won. And the fact that they haven't gotten paid out yet is crazy. It's not a little bit of money either. Like, it's a lot of money that they put on the line. It's something like $2,000 a team. I could be wrong. Something like $2,000 a team that they're not paying these winners. And it's kind of crazy because a lot of people traveled for that money. Like we said in the last pod, a lot of people travel for and expect to play for this money. So for them not to get this money is actually insane yet. Like, who knows? Maybe some people are in debt because of it. They're like, oh, I'm going to win or get podium or whatever. And now I don't have this money. And now I'm broke and I need to figure out a way to get this money. Is that true? Probably not. But something that could have happened. Drew just said, Spikeball State right now is, or to give you an idea of Spikeball State right now, Drew worked in a tennis camp this summer, and a group of 6 boys aged 12 to 14 did not know what Spikeball was, and that he thought that was crazy. I would agree. I think that is pretty crazy. But at the same time, think about, when did you start playing Spikeball? I started when I was probably about 16, or I probably knew about Spikeball when I was 16, 17, like sophomore, junior year in high school. That's probably when I found it out. And I don't know if it's grown a ton since then in like the recreational side of things. I know a ton of stuff have, like, in the competitive world definitely grew a little bit. But I don't know if I've really seen a huge growth of Spikeball in the rec world. Like, I'm sure they'll probably figure it out or play it in the next 2 years, which makes sense. Mike G, there might be big changes for Spikeball's involvement moving forward. I agree. I think they need big changes for the sport moving forward. They need to do something, because what they're doing right now obviously isn't working too well. We need more younger players. We need more newer players out there funding these tournaments, because if the tournament's not going to fund themselves and these high-level teams aren't going to travel everywhere. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. It is hard to do a solo podcast. I give so many props to all these people who do it by themselves. I don't know what to talk about. I feel like Josh is usually the guy who knows what to talk about. I'm just the tech guy. Mike G said it's overestimated how many people are aware of competitive RoundNet. I would agree. I think competitive RoundNet needs to get on some sort of wave that just pops off within next season, or I could see RoundNet going downhill. At least the competitive scene, especially in the U.S., because I don't know if Europe is going to fail anytime soon with their scene growing so much. But, yeah, I mean, RoundNet needs to do something. Or Spikeball needs to do something to just keep this tour series going, because as of right now, I think it is just the tour series. How about this? Mike G and Connor Prelick are both telling me to take my shirt off. I'll take my shirt off if we can get 50 viewers. 50 live viewers, and I'll take my shirt off. Make it happen. You heard me. Who wins in a fight, a bear or a gorilla, from Brandon? Oh, man, a gorilla takes that, and that's not even a question. If we're talking just like a normal bear, black, brown bear, polar bear, I think gorilla takes that without a doubt. Gorillas are ruthless, dude. They're strong. Gorillas are massive. Are you kidding me? Mike G says a bear would win that fight. A mama bear. I don't know if that helps. Gorillas are, I think you're underestimating the size of a gorilla. Bears may be a little bigger. All right, but gorillas definitely are stronger. I'll look it up right now. Gorillas or bears? The size of a gorilla is about 5 feet on all fours. Looks like it, right? 350 pounds. But the upper body on those gorillas are massive. The bear has a lot of it all around, right? A gorilla is just going to come out swinging, and then there's no question about who wins that. The bear's going to try, but I think a gorilla takes that 9 times out of 10. This is a lot of talking. This really is. Yeah, Mike, I know. This is getting rough. I don't know how long I'm going to keep the pod going. A Christmas classic podium prediction from Drew. I think the podium is going to consist of me and Gabe. Is going to consist of Will and Cade and Clap and Sully. I think that is the podium. I don't know about the order, though. Me, Gabe, Will, Cade, Clap, Sully. Me and Gabe on top. Clap, Sully in the 2. Cade, and Will in the 3. That is my thoughts. So we are getting more people in here because Connor looks like he went into the Discord and said, come into the live because we need 50 viewers in order for me to take my shirt off. Which, is that even legal? I don't know. Cade and Will as third is a hot take. Cade has been cooking. I would agree. But I think, oh man, that's tough. It is tough. It really is tough. I think Cade and Will just don't have the crazy serve pressure like Gabe and Clap would have, where they can really, if they're on, that they are on. Their on is a lot better than anybody else's on, if that makes sense. Oh, we're losing people. It's not going to get to 50. I'm not that popular. I'm trying to check Discord to see what they said to get people on. I will say, my fiance is in this live stream and she's listening. So, I don't know if she'll be to, I don't know if she'll be liking me taking my shirt off for a podcast. Because it is just a podcast. Actually, people won't really see the podcast as much as you think. We'll have to see what she says. She's definitely laughing right now, but we'll see. She says take it off. Never mind. I think she should focus on the road, though, because she's definitely on her way home from work. Dark Horse for Christmas Classic. Ooh, Dark Horse for Christmas Classic. I don't know. There's a ton of good teams who could win some games. A dark horse would probably be someone like Bingu, Sonny Gu, and Jared Bingham. I can totally see them doing a lot better than other people think. I don't think they're on a lot of people's radars right now, but they could totally take some good games off of some people if they're playing well. Is Mammoth a bust? I don't think Mammoth's a bust at all. I've said it before. I love the Mammoth set, and it's super fun to play on. In that Mammoth tournament, it was phenomenal. I mean, I had a ton of fun playing it, especially in the competitive scene, and it was actually great. I can't really hate on it. I'm a big fan of it. Even though me and Jake fumbled second round. Yeah, we fumbled, but I think it was still a blast. And I'm going to keep saying that forever. I don't know if I could see it as a competitive taking over the tour series, but it was definitely a blast. People are saying they think Mammoth should continue to be this Sunday tournament. I think that's not a terrible idea, but I think co-ed is a lot more fun to watch and a lot more fun to follow. Brendan says hitting on Mammoth is still too easy. Hitting on Mammoth could be easy, but it could also be hard at the same time. I think just a lot of drops and low shots from the Mammoth is a good idea, and that's the way to go. But Brendan, not everybody can be you, all right? Not everybody can everybody can get every skill so easily and be so good like you, Brendan. I know that's what you wanted to hear. Co-ed on Mammoth for Sundays? No. I would disagree with that. I think co-ed is really good where it's at on the Spikeball Pro Net. Personally. That's interesting, though. Mammoth Sundays over co-ed Sundays. I wonder how many people would vote that. It's definitely fun to watch with the rallies and all that. But I can't. So is co-ed. Co-ed's also fun to watch. I don't know. I'd definitely say co-ed. Co-ed over Mammoth every day of the week for Sundays on tour stops. That's my take. Brendan says thoughts on a players' union. I think that's a fantastic idea. I think the players need some more voice in the tour series. But that's the thing. It's like, would the players' union be for the tour series, or would it be for like the IRF for rules and that kind of stuff? I think that can go either way, because if it's just for the IRF, then the tour series will still do whatever they want to do. But if it's for the tour series, I don't think they'd ever allow that. I don't think they'd really want to give the players too much of a say. I just don't think we're at that point yet. I don't even know if a players' union's this thing in any sport. Help get these people paid, tournaments better, equipment standardized. Yeah, I think that's more of a job for the IRF than it is for a players' union. I think especially with the better tournaments and equipment standardizing, IRF needs to do something, and same with USAR needs to do something. If the SCS is lame, we boycott. We could, but that's only the top teams are gonna boycott. I feel like only a certain amount of people. I don't think everybody's gonna boycott. You got to get everybody on board for that. But we're all addicted to this stupid game anyway, that a ton of people are gonna still go and play no matter what. Right? if we try and boycott as a players' union, there's going to be a ton of people that still just say like, oh, well, I don't care if we boycott. I don't even make money anyway. I'm just going to go and play and have fun. And if all these players are boycotting, then I can go and I can have a better chance at winning this thing if all the top teams aren't going to be there. Right? I mean, that can go either way. I'm actually flabbergasted how hard this is. I thought it was going to be so much easier. I was like, I've done podcasts before. I'm a pro podcaster now. Nope. Not yet. We've had a bunch of good questions, though. And I don't know how this is going to turn out for your listeners on the podcast part, because you can't see the questions coming in. I think I did a good job, though, doing the questions at the same time as recording. I think that's going to be interesting for me to look at when I'm editing, and let me know when you guys are listening if it's that terrible. Just tell me it's terrible. Now we know maybe not to do it in the future. But any content is better than no content. So on that note, I'm going to call it. Definitely call it for today. I think I answered a lot of questions. Talked a little bit about the Christmas Classic and had a bunch of me complaining about how hard this is and a lot of dead noise with me coughing and sniffling and drinking water, root beer. But for everybody who for everybody who joined the live, I appreciate you coming in and asking questions, keeping the pod alive. Thank you so much. For everybody listening, thank you for listening. I know this had to be a rough one, especially if you were listening from start to finish. I need somebody. I don't think I'm going to be a one-time or a one-person podcaster ever. Unless I plan out a whole script that's like an hour long, but nobody wants to listen to that. I will say I definitely am looking forward to this weekend. I think it's going to be a blast again. Follow it on the Flango. I'm going to post a lot, hopefully on story or on the Instagram afterward. So look out for that. Follow us on Spiked Lemonade Pod on Instagram. Follow us on Spotify. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow me, Matt Spo Roundnet, on Instagram as well. Don't forget about Josh Dito Roundnet, and our computer guy who also isn't here today. Zach Vance is going to be here soon being our computer guy, and that's going to be awesome. So with that concludes episode 21 of Spiked Lemonade Podcast. Again, let me know how you think I did, and yeah, have a good one, guys. Take it easy.
Spiked lemonade, on the way to the top, gotta elevate. Spiked lemonade, and the boys don't play, better get it straight. Spiked lemonade, on the way to the top, watch me elevate. Spiked lemonade, don't hate, just wait. Spiked lemonade.
That was rough. That was so rough. Who's in here? Lorna, Brandon, and Susan. That was so rough. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Or if I'm going to edit it or how I'm going to do it. But, okay. Guys, thank you for listening and bearing with me. I'm going to go now. Deuces.